All right, all praise, y'all. We back on now. We back on. All praise.
All praise to the Most High.
All
Man,
right.
should I do that over?
Uh, nah, bro. We can start back in the middle. We can start back where we was at.
Okay. All right. Well, we gonna start at verse. What's that? 13.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good
Actually, I'm
start.
gonna do. I'm gonna do 12.
All right. Cool.
Upon one day, Book of Esther, chapter 8 and verse 12. Excuse me. Upon one day in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, and that the Jews should be ready against that day to avenge themselves on their enemies.
To do what?
To avenge themselves on their enemies.
Absolutely. So he letting you know that on the 13th day, uh, the first decree was to go and destroy all the Jews, but he letting it be known y'all defend yourselves against y'all enemies. Come on.
Verse 14. So the posts that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hastened and pressed on by the king's commandment.
All right,
And the
shalom. I want to before we keep going. Shalom, the humble servant on YouTube. Y'all say shalom, the servant. The humble servant on YouTube. Y'all.
shalom, shalom,
Shalom,
peace and
humble
blessings.
servant.
Shalom, shalom.
All praises. All right. Verse 14. My bad.
Oh, it's all good. Verse 14. So the posts that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hastened and pressed on by the king's commandment. And the decree was given at Shushan the palace. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white, and with a great crown of gold, and with a garment of fine linen and purple.
Hmm.
And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad.
Absolutely. Come on.
The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor.
Absolutely.
And in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast in a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews,
Mhm.
for the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
Absolutely. So now you see the fear of us falling upon the rest of the people. So now they trying to convert. They trying to be like us. Come on.
Chapter 9. Now in the 12th month, that is the month Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree draw near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hope to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had rule over them that hated them,
Mm-hmm.
the Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king of Ahasuerus to lay hand on such as sought their hurt,
Yeah.
and no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people.
Right. Come on.
And all the rulers of the provinces, and the lieutenants, and the deputies, and officers of the king helped the Jews, because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them.
Yeah. Come on.
For Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out throughout all the provinces. For this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater.
Mm-hmm. And look, and he found favor in the sight of his in the land of his captivity, just like Daniel found favor in the land of his captivity. You know what I'm saying? And he rose the ranks, just like Daniel did through the grace and the blessings of the Most High. So now he in a position to where he can help his people. You know what I'm saying? So, we can't always look down on people and within ranks of the government. You know what I'm saying? Because they could possibly be put there for the greater good of the whole nation, just like it was for Esther. You know what I'm saying? She was put in that position. So when this did all unfold, just like Joseph was put in the high and second in command in Egypt. So we see throughout all the Bible, the Most High put individuals in positions of government in order for the greater good of the Israelite nation. So, let's not be so quick and hasty to look down on people in government positions. So come
We
on,
ain't
what we
talking
at
about
verse 9?
Obama though. We ain't
Huh?
talking about Obama.
Right, no, not Obama. We talking about people that fear the Most High and keep His laws, statutes, and commandments and guard it with their life. Those type
because
of individuals.
we are supposed to respect everybody in authority figure, no matter what, because everything worked for the greater good. That's calling according to the law. Where
Absolutely,
you go?
according to the law. Yeah, because
It's a reason why they put in that position. So regardless of whether we think they're supposed to be there or not, with our opinion, God know why He put them there.
absolutely. No, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And to what she's saying, like he tell you in I believe is in the book of Daniel that the Most High give, the kingdoms of the earth to whom he will. You know what I'm saying? And then you read Romans the 14th or the 13th chapter, it tell you to have respect unto the powers that be. You know what I'm saying? Because they put here and they set up by the Most High. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And they only
yes,
occur to individuals who do who participate in in felonious behavior or evil behavior. If you do good, you have no reason to fear the powers that be. Now, when you want to go against the powers that be, it's because you trying to go against the Most High. Now, if you put in a situation to where you got to choose between Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that was put in a position by the king to either worship bow down to the image that the king erected or be killed. You know what I'm saying? In situations like that, you got to go with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't put you in a position to where you transgress the commandments of the Most High. At that point, you have the right to go against the powers that be, or even like today, you got the powers that you got this nation saying that it's okay for a male and a male to get married, or a female and a female to be married. So, we know that, what I'm saying, that's something that the Most High don't allow. So, we would never subscribe to that. But the thing is, if they ever say that a male and a female can't get married, then that's when we should really become concerned. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely. So we make sure that we respect the powers that be. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's in line with what the Most High his law, statutes, and commandments. So absolutely. All right, what we at with that, bro?
All right, we in verse 5. Esther, book of Esther, chapter 9 and verse 5. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword,
Mm,
and slaughter and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them.
mm-hmm.
And in Shushan the palace, the Jews slew and destroyed 500 men.
How many men was destroyed?
500 men.
And this was just in Shushan, where the palace was at. 500 men was destroyed. Come on.
And forgive me, Parshan Enda. I completely butchered that, boy.
I'm glad I ain't
Where's
gotta
Johnny
read
at
that.
And
Where's
and
Johnny at when we need him?
Dog,
and
what
thou
verse?
It's a Parshandata.
Parshan Data.
Parshan.
Right. So
Data.
we
Yeah.
we need to get
Parshan
we need to get Ariel on this deal.
Hey, between
Yeah.
Straight up.
him and Johnny be saying them words.
All right, where we at? Come on, bro.
And thou fun
Delphon.
thou fun
Delphon.
and Aspatha and poor Arthur and
Poor Arthur.
Adelia.
Adelia and Ardatha.
Poor Arthur.
Oh man. And
Aritha.
Excuse me.
It was. I'm sorry. You do Ariditha.
Ariditha,
Uh huh. And
uh, and
Parmashta.
Parmashta, and Arisa, and Ardia, and
Arida.
Arida, and
Arida. Mm-hmm.
and Baj Izatha,
But Jezatha.
But Jezatha.
Just
Excuse me, y'all. I was
It's all
never
good
good at
Hebrew.
nah,
reading
you
the
good,
names,
bro.
bro. Never. I don't know the A after the I, all this stuff, boy. All praise to the Most High. Verse 10. The 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the enemy of the Jews, slew they, but on the spoil laid they not their hand.
Mm-hmm.
On that day, the number of those that were slain in Shushan the palace was brought before the king.
Mm.
And the king said unto Esther the queen, the Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Shushan the palace,
Mm-hmm.
and the 10 sons of Haman. What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces?
Mm.
Now what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. Or what is thy request farther? And it shall be done.
So you see that. So amongst the 500 men that were slain, he said the 10 sons of Haman were slain also. You know what I'm saying? And now he asking Esther like, shoot, what more do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Because anything, any petition, any request is gonna be granted to you. Just let me know. Come on.
Verse 13. Then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Shushan to do tomorrow also according unto this day's decree,
Mm-hmm.
and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows.
Oh, so my bad. I'm sorry. So his sons weren't killed amongst the 500. Now she telling him, you know what I'm saying? The same thing that we did today, let the Jews do again tomorrow. And in addition to that, let's hang these 10 sons of Haman on the gallows. So you see, not only what he did got him put to death, also what he did got his 10 sons put to death too. It's almost like a situation with like Saul. Saul Jonathan and his other sons had to pay for what he had did when he went to the witch of Endor. They had to pay for it too. Now they not gonna be judged on the day of judgment for what he did, but the decree went forth to put all of them to death still. But they'll all be judged separately for what each of one of them did during their lifetime on the day of judgment. So what they was put to death for is like just like with Sodom and Gomorrah. He said, you know, when you go into a city, if that city don't hurt you, dust off the shake off the dust of your feet, and it'll be more tolerable in the day of judgment for Sodom and Gomorrah than it would be for that city. Just meaning that even though Sodom and Gomorrah was judged, I mean, yeah, they was put to death or punished, they still gotta be judged on judgment day. The same thing. Even though Haman's sons getting put to death for what their father did, they still won't be judged for what he did. That makes sense.
Absolutely, bro.
All right.
Absolutely. So what you're saying is uh uh Jonathan will have a better turnout in that day than his dad, even though his dad had, his actions led them to being, put to death.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
You speak of the second death. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, the
absolutely.
second death. Absolutely.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So all right, where we at?
We at verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And the king commanded it so to be done. And the decree was given at Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons.
Mm,
For the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day also of the month Adar, and
mm,
slew 300 men at Shushan.
mm,
But on the prey they laid not their hand.
mm-hmm.
But the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives, and had rest from their enemies, and slew of their foes 75,000.
Right. So outside of Shushan, where the palace was, the Jews in all the other provinces, they slaughtered a total of 75,000 people. 75,000 people were slain of our enemies this day. You know what I'm saying? Plus you got the 500 that was slain by, I mean, within the, well, no, actually it was 500 the first day, and then it was another 3 the second day, and then plus Haman 10 sons. So that's what, 810 people that were slain in Shushan?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And then plus the 75,000 that was slain outside the province, Shushan.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of people that was being slain.
It
It
was a
was a
lot of
lot of
blood in
people
them
being
streets, boy.
slain.
It was a lot of blood in them streets.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. A lot of blood in the streets. Come on.
Verse 17. Oh, verse 16 continue. But they laid not their hands on the prey.
Thank you.
On the 13th day of the month Adar, and on the 14th day of the same rested day, and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
So you see that? So this was a day of feasting and gladness. And notice it was on what? It was on the 13th day of the month Adar.
Hmm.
The
And on the
13th day of the month Adar. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Which is be coming up her on March what you say 21st,
22nd or the
22nd?
23rd, I have to go back and check.
Yeah. So this is what we'll be celebrating coming up soon. And it'd be because again, it was a day in which the decree had went forth to us to be slaughtered. But through the grace and the mercy of the Most High, that decree was turned around for our good. And you know, the just the sheer thought of us, you know what I'm saying, with the grace and the mercy of the Most High was sending fear through the hearts of the people, just like it was when we was coming into the land of Canaan. See, when we was coming into the land of Canaan, the hearts of the people that was inhabiting that land was struck with fear. Just like when the 12, I mean when the spies went into the land of Jericho, uh the Rahab the harlot, she expressed, look, the fear and the dread of y'all has come up on these people. You know what I'm saying? And this what happened during this time of Purim. The hearts of the people started to become very weak and faint at the thought of us, to where it was at the point to where people even started to profess themselves to be Jews. And 75,000 people died in the provinces that was up under the rule of Ahasuerus, plus another 800. So come on, where we at? Verse 18.
Uh,
Where
it,
we where we at, bro?
You getting kicked off, brother?
yeah,
Who?
man, about 2 or 3 times, man.
Oh man,
Mm-mm.
Well,
they
y'all
trying
know
to
what that
cyber
is,
that.
man. That's yeah, cyber attack. Well, we ain't never had this problem until we started streaming live.
You know,
It's
anytime
all
Yeah.
we
good.
do something
It's
right,
all
the devil
good.
comes right along.
All right, so right on. Judas just sent me the information. The Feast of Purim is Friday, March the 22nd through Saturday, March 23rd.
Yes, yeah.
So that would be the equivalent of the 13th and the 14th day of the month of Adar in Hebrew.
Right.
So all right, let's keep rolling. Where we at with that Hebrew?
We have verse 18.
Okay.
But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same, they rested, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. Therefore, the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month Adar a day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and of sending portions one to another.
So you see that? So this what they did on the 14th day. They established it as a day of feasting and gladness. This 14th day of the month of Adar, feast of gladness and a good day, and of sending portions one to another. And that's why we kind of do the same thing. We get together and we go and we send out portions to the less
Homeless.
fortunate,
The homeless.
the homeless. Absolutely. So all right, come on, verse 20.
And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus,
Mm-hmm.
both nigh and far, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly, as the
Mm-hmm.
days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and
Mm-hmm.
from mourning into a good day,
So you
that
see
they
that? So
okay.
that look, so this why we keep this day because it was a day to remember when we rested from our enemies. You know,
Mhm.
no different from what I mean, the Feast of Dedication. And see, even though it's not in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, or Deuteronomy, the 16th chapter, you know, these are still days of commemoration, though. You know what I'm saying? Because we was facing total annihilation, but through the grace and the power of the Most High, we uh we overcame. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the Feast of Dedication, man, we was facing annihilation, you know,
Mhm.
but again, through the grace and the power of the Most High and His only begotten Son, we again overcame and we was able to rededicate the temple back to the Most High. So even though these are days that are not in what's called the feast of the Lord, we still commemorate these days though. These are days of commemoration, you know, and which is
Absolutely.
nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with doing it.
Right. Absolutely.
So all right, where we at now, bro?
We still in verse 22, and I also wanted to note that, you know what I'm saying, that day was a good day. Ooh, I.
All
That was
praise. Hey, it was
hard.
though. It was a good day.
No, we're not gonna do
All
that.
praise. All right, let's
All right,
keep
verse
rolling.
22 continue. That they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of spending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor.
So you see that gifts to the poor. That's why we do what we do. We get together, we make gift bags, you know, and we go and present them to the poor. We send portions to one another, and you know, we do a little bit of feasting, you know, have joy, you know, and we do everything that's instructed us to do on this day, you know, to commemorate us overcoming our enemies, you know.
Hallelujah.
And it ain't no
Hallelujah.
different. This nation do the same thing. Day with days like what they call it, Veterans Day, Memorial Day and
Mhm.
things like that. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't no you know, it ain't something that's just, you know, for us. You know, everybody do it. So, all right, come on, where we at?
Verse 23. And the Jews undertook to do as they had began, and as Mordecai had written unto them,
Mm-hmm.
because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast Pur, that is, the lot, to consume them,
And when
and
you
to
look up
destroy them.
pur, it means purim. It means purim is a lot as by means of a broken piece, pure or purim. And cast, so they was casting lots upon us to consume and destroy us. Come on.
But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that
Mm-hmm.
he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows.
See, come on.
Wherefore they called these days Purim,
They call them
after
what?
the name of Purim,
After the uh-huh, come on.
after the name of Pur.
After the
Therefore,
name of pure. And remember when we read up a couple verses, it says against the Jews to destroy them and had cast pure. That is the lot to consume them and to destroy them. So that's what they was doing. They was casting the lot to consume and destroy us, and that's why that's where the name Purim come from. It come from uh it was named after the name of pure. So come on.
therefore, for all the words of this letter, and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them, the
Mm-hmm.
Jews ordained and took upon them, and upon their seed, and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail, that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing and according to their appointed time every year.
Every way.
Every year.
Yeah, right. So that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? We keep this as a memorial according to the appointed time every year. That's why we do this every year on in a month of Dar, on the 14th day of that month. You know what I'm saying? Whenever it falls on the Gregorian calendar, we keep it and we do what's been instructed by us by Mordecai. Come on.
And that these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation.
See that it may be remembered. You know what I'm saying? Because this was a day and a time where we could have been exterminated as a nation. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to do to us what the Most High was had planned for the Amalekites, for Haman's ancestors, for the wickedness in which they committed against us in the wilderness. They was trying to completely wipe us off the face of the earth, but it ended up backfiring on them. So it's saying, look, we keeping this as a memorial throughout all our generations, every family, every province, and every city. Come on.
And that these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews,
Mm-hmm.
nor the memorial of them perish from their seed.
Yeah, come on. The memorial meaning the memory. So it need to be something that need to be kept in memory because again, we could have been totally wiped out. If they would have wiped out the Jews right there, none of us would be here today. They would have wiped them out. None of us would be here today. So it need to be something that, need to be spoken about to the kids. You know what I'm saying? And everybody need to be speaking about this and telling about this to make sure the memory of it lives on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Verse 29. Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai the Jew wrote with all authority to confirm the second letter of Purim. And he sent the letters unto all the Jews, to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus, with words of peace and truth, to confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed, the matters of the fastings and their cry. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book.
Absolutely. Come on. Chapter 10.
Chapter 10. And the king Ahasuerus laid a tribute upon the land and upon the isles of the sea, and all the acts of his power and of his might, and the declarations of the greatness of Mordecai, whereunto the king advanced him. Are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Media and Persia?
Mm-hmm.
For Mordecai the Jew was next unto the king Ahasuerus,
He was
and
what?
he was next unto King Ahasuerus.
So meaning he was second in command, just like Joseph was second in command in Egypt. Come on.
And great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren,
Mm-hmm.
seeking the wealth of his people and speaking peace to all his seed.
Yeah. All right. So you done with that? So now what we gonna do, y'all, is we gonna go to the Apocrypha. And we're gonna read in the Apocrypha the rest of the book of Esther. So let me know when you got that pulled up. All right, give us 1 second, child. We can pull it up. Let
Yo,
me.
Ed,
Huh?
Ed, did you want me to read it, man?
Yeah. If you want to read it, bro, you got it pulled up.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up too. Oh, you know what? Matter of fact, is it in them? Is it in that? On that one that Ox Steve sent out?
It should be.
Okay. Let me see.
Because it's in the Apocrypha.
Okay. Never mind, I found
You
it.
can read about the mother and her son, then go rest of Esther.
You said what?
What you should read about the mother and her sons?
Nah.
Uh,
Nah, this the book of Esther. Alright, look, well, I can't find it on the internet.
Well, I got the role of the additions of Esther. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what we talking about right there. Yeah, that's what we talking
Yeah.
about, bro. Let's see.
Well, I got it. If you want me to read, just let me know when you're ready.
Alright, hold on, I'm bringing it up. I want to try and put it on the thing. Alright, what chapter it start in, bro?
Chapter 1, verse 1,
What it say?
where it says, "In the second year of the reign of Artashasta," that's Ahasuerus, but it's just spelled differently. The Great.
Alright, cool. Let me grab my pocket for real fast. Alright, let's let it roll, bro. Let's go ahead and let's get it.
All right. Okay, y'all. A few of the names gonna sound a little different, y'all, but it's the same thing. Yeah, y'all ready?
Yeah, we
Give me
ready,
1
Brewski.
second. Give me
I'm
1
about to
second.
All
go
right,
on
man.
mute.
With the permission of the Most High's only begotten Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, long live the King.
Long live the king.
And it reads on
Alright,
this
y'all,
wise.
that's Brother Johnny. For anybody that's online that don't know this, Brother Johnny.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
In the second year of the reign of Artashasta the Great, in the first day of the month, Nisan, Mordecai, the son of Yair, the son of Shimi, the son of Kish of the tribe of Benjamin, had a
Hold on, wait,
dream.
bro. Where you at?
I'm in chapter 1, verse 1.
In the Apocrypha?
Yep, in Apocrypha.
And it should say the rest of the chapters of the book of Esther.
Let me see. Let me see. Is it 3 where it says, "Nine came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus"? I'm sorry, Ahasuerus. This is Ahasuerus which reigned from India even unto Cush, over 107 and 20 provinces.
See,
That's
mine
it.
start off in chapter 10. Mine start off with chapter 10, and it says, Then Mordecai said, God have done these things.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Yeah, that's how mine starting out too is.
Oh, crap.
Humble servant said, Shalom, Brother Johnny.
Oh, shalom, my brother. Shalom. Him in the banquet. Oh, okay, wait a minute, 1 second. Let me try again.
If you can't find it, Brother Johnny, we'll let Levi read it then so we can just keep moving, so to speak.
Yeah. Keep it going because mine starts totally different, dude.
Did you check in the thing Steve sent us?
Hold on 1 second. Hold up. Okay. When it says, "Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus," this is Ahasuerus which reigned from India even to Cush, over 107 and 20 provinces,
What did it say after that, bro?
Brother Johnny.
that in those days when King Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign.
See, yeah, mine starting off. Then Mordecai said, God have done these things. And
Oh,
4.
crap.
Yeah, so I
No.
don't.
Man, that's probably almost at the end of my book. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Gosh, your time is hating today.
Yeah, because he talked
Man.
about a dream that he had.
Yeah,
Said, if I
yeah,
remember a
yeah,
dream.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you see it, brother
Hold
Johnny?
on. Let me see. Let me show this Risen King. My goodness, I know what you're talking about, but mine starts off different.
All right, look, we'll just let Levi read it then, so we could just keep it rolling, so we don't run out of time. Bro, is that you cool with that?
Yeah, go right ahead, bro.
All right, sorry about that, bro.
No, it's not your fault, man.
All right, all right, let's roll. Let's see if we can get through these last few chapters.
All right, family. We in the Apocrypha and the additions to Esther, starting at chapter 1 and verse 1. And it reads on this wise. It says, Then Mordecai said, God have done these things. For I remember a dream which I saw concerning these matters, and nothing thereof have failed.
So you see that? So Mordecai saying what he had seen in his dream is what came to pass. So everything that we was reading in the book of Esther, from how Haman fell into the own pit that he did, to the Jews overcoming their enemies. Mordecai said, I seen all of this in a dream and nothing failed. So come on.
Verse 6, A little fountain became a river, and there was light, and the sun, and much water. This river is Esther,
Uh-huh.
whom the king married and made queen.
Yep.
And the two dragons are I and Amen.
Oh,
Real
I and
quick,
who?
I heard some background music.
Yeah. Everybody mute y'all phones.
Verse 7 again. And the two dragons are I and Haman. And the
Uh-huh.
nations were those that were assembled to destroy the name of the Jews.
And the nations were those that would assemble to destroy the name of the Jews. So look, notice he's saying in his dream that he seen a fountain that became a river, and it was light and the sun and much water. But he's saying the river that he seen, he said that was Queen Esther. You know what I'm saying? Or the river was Esther, who the king married, and she became the queen. But then he said, I seen two dragons, and one dragon was Mordecai, and the other dragon was Haman. Come on.
And my nation is this Israel, which cried to God and were saved. For the Lord hath saved his people, and the Lord hath delivered us from all those evils.
Y'all mute y'all phones. I don't know if that's you or not, brother Johnny. All right, cool. Let's keep going.
And God hath wrought signs and great wonders, which have not been done among the Gentiles.
Uh-huh.
Therefore have he made two lots.
He made what?
Two lots.
Mm-hmm.
One for the people
Take
of
over for
God.
me real fast, Levi.
Okay.
Oh, he's gonna beat the dogs.
Ezra, I got some puppies if you want to replace that one. I gotta get rid of them.
Oh, that boy on like Alaskan Malamutes and shit like that. He don't like no other kind of dog.
All right, I'm back. Where we at?
Verse 10 again. Therefore have he made two lots, one for the people of Yah, and another for all the Gentiles.
Mm-hmm.
And these two lots came at the hour and time and day of judgment before Yah among all nations. So God remembered his people and justified his inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, those days shall be unto them in the month Adar, the 14th and 15th day of the same month, with an assembly and joy and with gladness before God, according to the generations, forever among his people.
So, you see that? So Mordecai was saying, see, God was behind all of this as well. You know what I'm saying? So, when you read through the book of Esther, you get chunks out there that say, that the Most High ain't nowhere in this. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High was all behind it, as we see with Mordecai saying he had a dream about all of this. So, all right, let's go ahead and go to the next chapter.
All right. Sound like somebody busting out or something. All right, chapter 2. Yo, we let's all go back on mute, y'all. All right, chapter 2 and verse 1. In the 4th year of the reign of how you spell it? How you pronounce it?
Ptolemy, I mean I mean,
Ptolemy,
yeah, Ptolemaeus or something like
Ptolemaeus,
yeah.
and Cleopatra Dosithius,
Uh-huh.
who said he was a priest and Levite, and Ptolemaeus, his son, brought this epistle of what's that, Purim,
Yeah, I think that's pure.
which they said was the same, and that Lysimachus, the son of Polemius, that was
Yeah.
in Jerusalem, had interpreted it. In the 2nd year of the reign of Ahasuerus the Great, in the 1st day of the month Nisan, Mordecai, the son of Jairus, the son of Simei, the son of what's that? Sesai, the tribe of Benjamin,
Mm-hmm.
had a dream.
Had a what?
Had a dream.
Uh-huh.
Who was a Jew and dwelt in the city of Sassa, or
So
Sussa.
this again, Mordecai. It's saying Mordecai, who was of the tribe of Benjamin, had a dream in the 2nd year of the reign of Artaxerxes the Great. And when you look up who Artaxerxes is, that's also the same king of Ahasuerus who married uh, uh, our sister
Esther.
Esther. So come on.
And the city of Sassa or Sussa is Susan, the palace.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right on for that.
Yeah. All right. So verse 3 continuing. A great man being a servitor in the king's court.
Look up that word sepulcher. Let's look at that word sepulcher real fast. That's how we like to do it, y'all. If we come across a word that we don't know or understand, we'll stop and we gonna look it up. Let me know when you got it, Levi.
I'm trying to get it up.
It's a let me see.
I got it. It says a person who serves or attends on a social superior.
All right, so this is what Mordecai was. Mordecai was a servitor, a Jew, and dwelt in the city of Susa, a great man being a servitor in the king's court. So he was a servant in the court of the king. Come on.
He was also one of the captives which Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, carried from Jerusalem with Jeconias, the king of Judea. And this
Uh-huh.
was it, and this was his dream.
Uh-huh.
Behold, a noise of a tumult with thunder and earthquakes, and uproar in the land.
Uh-huh.
And behold, two great dragons came forth ready to fight, and their cry was great.
Uh-huh.
And at their cry, all nations were prepared to battle, that they might fight against the righteous people.
Mm-hmm.
And lo, a day of darkness and obscurity, tribulation and anguish, affliction and great uproar upon earth. And the whole righteous nation was troubled, fearing their own evils, and were ready to perish.
Absolute. Come on.
Then they carried unto God.
Pride.
Then they cried unto God, excuse me. And upon their cry, as it were from a little fountain, was made a great flood, even much water.
Now I'm wondering, is these two great dragons that he's seen the same two dragons that he seen in the previous chapter, which was Mordecai and Haman, and the little river being Esther? That's what I'm trying to figure out, but we'll see as we continue to go. Come on.
Verse 10. Then they cried unto God, and upon their cry, as it were from a little fountain, was made a great flood, even much water.
Mm-hmm.
The light and the sun rose up, and the lowly were exalted, and devoured the glorious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when Mordecai, who had seen this dream and what God had determined to do, was awake, he bare this dream in mind, and in tonight, by all means, was desirous to know it.
So look, so even after he had this dream, when he came to when he woke up, he all the way into the next night was still trying to ponder or desirous to know what the dream meant. Next, all right. So now we go on to the next chapter. Come on.
Chapter 3 and verse 1. And Mordecai took his rest in the court with Gabbatha and Thara, the two eunuchs of the king and keepers of the palace.
Mm-hmm.
And he heard their devices and searched out their purposes, and learned that they were about to lay hands upon Ar- Ar-
Artaxerxes.
Artaxerxes, the king.
So this going back to when we was reading the book of Esther and Mordecai when he overheard the two eunuchs plotting evil against the king, he went and told Esther, and Esther uh told the king. And it was and that deed that Mordecai did, it was counted to him for righteousness, and it was recorded in the book of the Kings. Come on.
And so he certified the king of them.
So he did what?
Certified the king of them.
Uh-huh. Come on.
Then the king examined the two eunuchs, and after that they had confessed it, they were strangled.
Mm.
And the king made a record of these things.
He did what?
Made a record of these things.
Right. He made a record of these things. And remember, the night before the king Haman was gonna come and request of the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows, the king couldn't sleep. And he ended up waking up from his sleep, and he went to the chambers of records, and he ended up finding the record where they recorded Mordecai doing this good deed. So this where we at with it. Come on.
And Mordecai also wrote thereof. So the king commanded Mordecai to serve in the court, and for this he rewarded him. Howbeit, Haman, the son of Amagathus, the Agagite, who was in great honor with the king, sought to molest Mordecai and his people because of the two eunuchs of the king.
Come on.
Is that chapter
So look,
4?
so that's what he was looking for. He was looking for some get back because of what he had snitched on them two on them two eunuchs who was plotting to kill the king. Come on.
Chapter 4. The copy of the letters was this: the great king, I'm gonna just say Ahasuerus,
Yeah.
writeth these things to the princes and governors that are under him from India unto Ethiopia in and 7 and 20 provinces. After that, I became Lord over many nations, and had dominion over the whole world, not lifted up with presumptions of my authority, but carrying myself always with equity and mildness. I propose to settle my subjects continually in a quiet life, and making my kingdom peaceable and open for passage to the uttermost coast, to renew peace, which is desired of all men.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I act, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just uh-huh.
Oh, verse 3. Now, when I asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Haman, that excelled in wisdom among us, and was approved for his constant goodwill and steadfast fidelity, and had
Fidelity.
fidelity, yeah, and had the honor of the second place in the kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
declared unto us that in all nations throughout the world there was scattered a certain malicious people
What type
that
of
had
people?
malicious people.
People. So this how he looking at it, he ain't talking about nobody else but us that's been scattered to the four corners of the earth. So now he telling them, look, he declared unto us, or he made it known to us, uh, that it was throughout the world it would scatter a certain malicious people. Come on.
That had laws contrary to all nations,
Uh-huh.
and continually despised the commandments of kings.
Uh-huh.
So as the uniting of our kingdoms, honorably intended by us, cannot go forward.
So you see that. So now he making it seem like that the Israelites gonna be a problem to every kingdom living peaceably. You know what I'm saying? And understand, Haman know exactly who we was. You know what I'm saying? He understood who we was, and he understood the history between the two nations. So now he's calling us a malicious people because we destroyed all of his people except the king. So now he's looking to put in the ear of the king he's looking to put a bad taste in the mouth of the king about us. No different from when you get into the book of Jasher, right? And when Moses had took the I believe it was when Moses took the crown off the off Pharaoh's head, that they tried to run our jacket. You know what I'm saying? They tried to paint a bad picture of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and the children of Israel as a whole. They tried to paint a bad picture of us, but it's always been like that throughout every nation that we go to. They always try to paint a bad picture of us and our history. Like we just some rebellious, stiff necked and malicious people.
That right? That right?
Come on.
Verse 5. Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men, differing in the strange manner of their laws, and evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can that our kingdom may not be firmly established.
Mm.
Therefore have we commanded that all they that are signified in writing unto you by Haman, who is ordained over the affairs and is next unto us, shall all, with their wives and children, be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies, without all mercy and pity, the 14th day of the 12th month of Adar of this present
So,
year.
so what we seeing right now is what sounds like the letter that went forth to all of the people in the provinces. The what? How many was it? 127 provinces. King Ahasuerus. This is
Yeah.
the letter that him and Haman was sending forth to everybody to kill all the Jews because they believed that we would be that we was alone in opposition, different in a strange manner of the laws from everybody else, and we would have an evil effect on everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that we was working mischief amongst the kingdom to where it couldn't be firmly established. So this is the letters that's being sent out by Haman to destroy them all, men, women, children. Destroy them all with the sword without mercy and pity on the 14th day of the 12th month of Adar this present year. Come on.
Verse 7. That they who of old and now are also are malicious, may in one day with violence go into the grave, and so ever hereafter cause our affairs to be well settled and without trouble.
So you see that because the king thinking that we gonna be trouble. You know what I'm saying? And it was all based upon the reports that Haman had gave him of us, that we was a malicious people, that we was gonna stand in opposition to anything that he tried to do and accomplish. So Haman putting this bug in his ear, and the king like, all right, well, shoot, we'll just wipe them all out then. Come on, verse 8.
Then Mordecai thought upon all the works of the Lord, and made his prayer unto him, saying, O Lord, Lord, the King, Almighty, for the whole world is in thy power. And if thou hast appointed to save Israel, there is no man that can gainsay thee.
Mm-hmm.
For thou hast made heaven and earth, and all the wondrous things under the heaven. Thou art Lord of all things, and there is no man that can resist thee, which art the Lord. Thou knowest all things, and thou knowest, Lord, that it was neither in contempt nor pride, nor for any desire of glory, that I did not bow down to proud Haman.
Uh-huh.
For I could have been content with good will for the salvation of Israel to kiss the soles of his feet.
So you saying I ain't not bowed down to Haman because it was pride in me, or because I desire some type of glory, because for the nation I would have kissed the bottom of his feet. So he letting it be known I didn't do it because of that. Come on.
But I did this that I might not prefer the glory of man above the glory of Yah.
So you see this? So he was saying, shoot, I'm not finna bow down to Haman because I prefer the glory of God above the glory of man. Come on.
Neither will I worship any but thee, O Yah. Neither will I do it in pride.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
And now, O Lord God and King, spare thy people, for their eyes are upon us to bring us to naught. Yea, they desire to destroy the inheritance that have been thine from the beginning.
Mm.
Despise not the portion which thou hast delivered out of Egypt for thine own self. Hear my prayer, and be merciful unto thine inheritance. Turn our sorrow into joy, that we may live, O Lord, and praise thy name, and destroy not the mouths of them that praise thee, O Lord. All Israel in like manner cried most earnestly unto the Lord, because their death was before their eyes.
So you see that? So now he praying to the Most High, making this supplication to the Most High to save him from what's finna come up on him. But look, if you remember when we was reading back in the book of Esther on Monday, that he told Esther, don't think that you can hide from this. And if you don't speak up, is another deliverer that's coming. Who you think that deliverer is that he was talking about?
Right.
Absolutely. So when you get people when you get people that start thinking about, oh well, the book of Esther is not really the Most High, is not really dealing with the Most High. Don't say thus saith the Lord and stuff like that, but the Lord is still in it. It's no different from the Psalms. The Psalms don't say and thus saith the Lord. Proverbs don't say thus saith the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So it's still, you can still tell by the works and the acts and the behavior of these individuals that they was governed by precept, must be upon precept, because everything that Haman did from his behavior, I mean not Haman, but Mordecai did from his behavior to his thought process, it was governed by rule of law upon rule of law. He telling you, look, the Messiah coming. If you decide not to say nothing, then there's still another deliverer coming. And this who we praying to. Deliver us like you delivered us up out of Egypt. So come on, let's go to the next chapter. We making a
5.
pretty good time. How many more chapters we got after this? Two? All right, cool. We got two more. We got two more chapters, but we making good time though.
Hey, real quick, is we all on mute? I keep hearing some scratching in the background. Or maybe that's you, it is. I don't know.
Probably is. But all right, come on, let's keep rolling.
All right, chapter 5. Queen Esther also, being in fear of death, resorted unto the Lord, and laid away her glorious apparel, and put on the garments of anguish and mourning. And instead of precious ointments, she covered her head with ashes and dung, and
Mm,
she humbled her body greatly. In all the places of her joy she filled with her torn hair. And she prayed unto the Lord God of Israel, saying, O my Lord, thou only art our King. Help me, desolate woman, which have no helper but thee. For my danger is in my hand. From my youth up I have heard in the tribe of my family that thou, O Lord, tookest Israel from among all people, and our fathers from all their predecessors, for a perpetual inheritance, and thou hast performed whatsoever thou didst promise them. And now we have sinned before thee. Therefore hast thou given us into the hands of our enemies. Because we worship their gods, O Lord, thou art righteous. Nevertheless, it satisfied them not that we are in bitter captivity, but they have stricken hands with their idols, that they will abolish the thing that thou with thy mouth hast ordained, and destroy thy inheritance, and stop the mouth of them that praise thee,
mm,
and quench the glory of thy house and of thine altar, and open the mouths of the heathen to set forth the praises of the idols, and to magnify a fleshly king forever.
mm,
O Lord, give not thy scepter unto them that be nothing, and let them not laugh at our fall,
right.
but turn their device upon themselves,
Mm,
and make him an example that have begun this against us.
yeah. And look at this our prayer. This our prayer to the Most High. So now you see what was going on when they was fasting for when they was fasting for them 3 days and them 3 nights. You know what I'm saying? This giving some insight into what was going on when we read the book of Esther. You know what I'm saying? She praying and letting the Most High look. No, we know and we understand what we did. You know what I'm saying? We acknowledging it. You know, we disobeyed you when we was at home, and you sent us into captivity for bowing down to idols. But look, Lord, don't let them have pleasure in our fall like that. Turn their devices upon themselves. You know what I'm saying? They digging a pit against us, but let them themselves fall into the very pit that they digging, and make them an example. Come on.
Verse 12. Remember, O Lord, make thyself known in time of our affliction, and give me boldness, O King of the nations, and Lord of all power. Give me eloquent speech in my mouth before the lion. Turn his heart to hate him that fighteth against us, that there may be an end of him, and of all that are like minded to him. But deliver us with thine hand, and help me that am desolate, and which have no other help but thee. Thou knowest all things, O Lord. Thou knowest that I hate the glory of the unrighteous, and abhor the bed of the uncircumcised, and of all the heathen. Thou knowest my necessity, for I abhor the sign of my high estate, which is upon my head in the days wherein I show myself, and that I abhor it as a ministress rag,
As a what type of rag?
a ministress rag,
Mm.
and that I wear it not when I am private by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and that thy handmaid have not eaten at Haman's table,
Mm-hmm.
and that I have not greatly esteemed the king's feast, nor drunk the wine of the drink offerings.
Mm.
Neither had thy handmaid any joy since the day that I was brought hither to this present, but
Yeah.
in thee, O Lord God of Abraham, O thou mighty El, above all. Hear the voice of the forlorn, and deliver us out of the hands of the mischievous, and deliver me out of my fear.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Okay, chapter 6. It says, and upon the third day, when she had ended her prayer, she laid away her mourning garments and put on her glorious apparel. And being gloriously adorned after she had called upon God, who is the beholder and savior of all things, she took two maids with her. And upon the one she learned as carrying herself daintily, and the other followed, bearing up her train. And she was ruddy through the perfection of her beauty, and her countenance was cheerful and very amiable,
Amable. Amable, yeah.
but her heart was in anguish for fear.
Mm-hmm.
Then, having passed through all the doors, she stood before the king, who
Right.
sat
This
upon
was
his
talking
royal
about because
throne.
remember when Mordecai went and asked her to go say something to the king, she was expressing to Mordecai, look, the king is in the house of the king. Can't nobody go there unless he's summoned. And if you come without being summoned, then if the king don't extend his scepter out to you, you're gonna be killed. So now we're saying after 3 days, because remember she told Mordecai, look, we're gonna fast for 3 days and for 3 nights. Y'all fast for 3 days and for 3 nights as well. That I find favor when I go in there before the king. So everything we just read up until now is when she was making her prayer for 3 days and for 3 nights before she went before the king. And after she prayed, on the third day, it said she got ready. She dressed herself up and was beautiful. And notice it said she was ruddy. She was light skinned through the perfection of her beauty, and her countenance was cheerful and amiable, meaning she was a very beautiful woman. And that was one of the reasons that the king chose her, because she was very beautiful. It says, but her heart was full of anguish and fear, because she knowing and understanding that she finna get ready to go in where she has not been summoned. And she know the penalty that can be done. The penalty for it. But she just going in with the grace of the Most High. That's why she said, make me bold. That I could do this with some boldness right here. Just like Judas did when she did what she did. She was bold when she did what she did. So,
Talking about Sister Soldier Judith.
yeah, boy, was bold, man. She
Yeah.
was bold, but she prayed to the Most High in the same exact manner. That's why, man, look, a sister in righteousness is powerful. A sister in
Hmm.
righteousness is very powerful.
Oh,
And beautiful, boy. I'm talking
And
about
beautiful, boy.
beautiful, and in a way that can't be expressed by words.
Yeah, nah, heck nah.
yeah, exactly.
All praises. All right, where we at now, bro?
Verse 6. Then, having passed through all the doors, she stood before the king, who sat upon his royal throne, and was clothed with all his robes of majesty, all glittering with gold and precious stones. And he was very dreadful. Then, lifting up his countenance, that shone with majesty, he looked very fiercely upon her. And the queen fell down and was pale and fainted, and bowed herself upon the head of the maid that went before her. Then God changed the spirit of the king into mildness, who in a fear leaped from his throne and took her in his arms till she came to herself again, and comforted her
Hey,
with
y'all, mute
loving
y'all
words.
phones. Mute y'all phones. Come on.
Verse 8 again. Then God changed the spirit of the king into mildness, who in a fear leaped from his throne and took her in his arms till she came to herself again, and comforted her with loving words, and said unto her, Esther, what is the matter? I am thy brother. Be of good cheer.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not die, though our through our commandment
So,
be though our commandment be general. Come
so,
near.
so
Excuse
you
me.
see that? So he letting her know, like, look, you can see the effects that he had. That she had, because look, when he gave her that look, when he seen her, You know what I'm saying? It said it was a fierceness, it was a fierce look, but the Most High had to redirect his heart to calm him down. And when he really when the Most High touched his heart, he immediately jumped up and went to Esther, and he gave her comfort, like, look, you ain't gonna die, though the commandment is what the commandment is. The commandment is if you come before me and you ain't been summoned, then you gonna die. So come on.
Verse 11. And so he held up his golden scepter and laid it upon her neck
Mm-hmm.
and embraced her and said, Speak unto me. Then said she unto him, I saw thee, my Lord, as an angel of God, and my heart was troubled for fear of thy majesty. For wonderful art thou, Lord, and thy countenance is full of grace. And as she was speaking, she fell down for faintness. Then the king was troubled, and all his servants comforted her.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 10. The great king, uh,
Artaxerxes.
Artaxerxes, unto the princes and governors of the 170 provinces, from India unto Ethiopia, unto all our faithful subjects, greetings. Many the more often they are honored with great bounty of their gracious princes, the more proud they are waxing, and endeavor to hurt not our subjects only, but not being able to bear abundance, do take in hand to practice also against those that do them good. And take not only thankfulness away from among men, but also lifted up the glorious words of lewd persons that were never good. They think to escape the justice of God, that seeth all things and hateth evil. Oftentimes also fair speech of those that are put in trust to manage their friends' affairs have caused many that are in authority to be partakers of innocent blood, and have enwrapped them in remediless calamities, beguiling with the falsehood and deceit of their lewd disposition the innocency and goodness of princes. Now ye may see this, as we have declared, not so much by ancient histories as ye may, if ye search what have been wickedly done of late through the pestilence behavior of them that are unworthily placed in authority.
So he talking about Haman and what Haman was conspiring to do to the Jews. You know what I'm saying? And he was letting it just be known that, you know what I'm saying, what was finna take place, it wasn't righteous. You know what I'm saying? And it was all plotted and planned through deceit and through trickery. Because Haman had tricked the minds of the king and the people to believing that the Jews were some mischievous people that must be taken out if he wanted peace throughout his kingdom. So come on.
Verse 8. And we must take care for the time to come, that our kingdom may be quiet and peaceable for all men, both by changing our purposes and always judging things that are evident with more equal proceeding.
Mm-hmm.
For Haman, a Macedonian, the son of Amadatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us, had so far forth obtained the favor that we show towards every nation, as that he was called our father, and was continually honored of all the next person unto the king.
Mm-hmm.
But he, not bearing his great dignity, went about to deprive us of our kingdom and life,
Mm-hmm.
having by manifold and cunning deceit sought of us the destruction,
So you see that by many fold and cunning deceit, sought of us the destruction. Come on.
as well of Mordecai, who saved our life and continually procured our good, as also of blameless Esther, partaker of our kingdom, with our whole nation. For by these means he taught, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians.
Mm-hmm.
But we find that the Jews, whom this wicked wretch have delivered to utter destruction, or no evildoers, but live by most just laws, and that they be children of the Most High and most mighty living God, who have ordered the kingdom both unto us and to our progenitors in the most excellent manner. Wherefore ye shall do well not to put in execution the letters sent unto you by Haman the son of Amadatha.
So you see that? So now it's being reversed or trying to be reversed. Don't put in the execution the letter sent unto you by Haman. You know what I'm saying? Which was the execution, execute all of the Jews on the 14th day of the month of Adar. Come on.
Verse 18. For he that was the worker of these things is hanged at the gate of Susa with all his family.
Mm,
God, who ruled over all things, speedily rendering vengeance to him according to his deserts. Therefore, ye shall publish the copy of this letter in all places, that the Jews may freely live after their own laws.
mm,
And ye shall aid them, that even the same day, being the 20th day, 13th day of the 12th month Adar, they may be avenged of them who in the time of their affliction shall set upon them.
mm-hmm,
For Almighty God have turned to joy unto them the day, wherein the chosen people should have perished. Ye shall therefore among your solemn feasts keep it in high day with all feasting,
mm-hmm,
that both now and hereafter there may be safely to us and the well affected Persians, but to those which do conspire against us a memorial of destruction.
mm-hmm,
Therefore, every city and country whatsoever which shall not do according to these things shall be destroyed without mercy, with
mm,
fire and sword, and shall be made not only unpassable for men, but also most hateful to wild beasts and fowls forever.
all praises. So that's the
Uh,
end of that, ain't it?
yeah, that's the end of that.
All right, just in time. So all praises. So again, that's why we keep and we do the Feast of Purim. We as a memorial year after year. Because our people were saved by the grace and the power of the Most High. You know, as you see through Mordecai's dreams, you know, it was always foretold. So with that being said, we're gonna hold it right there because we at the 9 o'clock hour. And most high willing we'll see y'all back here Friday. Again, shalom to the brothers inside the chat, and then also shalom to humble servant. Appreciate you joining us tonight, man. And we hopefully we'll see you Friday night, the same time,
Sister
7 to
Tracy
9.
also, thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you joining us. So with that being said, y'all, we out. All praises to the Most High. See y'all Friday.
All right,
Shalom.
shalom, shalom,
Shalom,
peace and blessings, family.
shalom,
All right,
y'all,
shalom,
shalom.
shalom. One love, bro. One love.
Most High be with you.
Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, then y'all see y'all Friday.
Yes, yeah,
Shalom.
Lord.